You see, actually, what we are talking about here is that when Jesus was commissioning the disciples, and also this message applies to us, speaks to us. He actually says, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me." Then he says, "Go ye therefore and make disciples." So, what is the importance of this? I'm quoting and paraphrasing Matthew 28 from verses 18 to verse 20. So, what is this for? Why are we pitching this up? It's because the call that he bestowed upon his followers was not just to go and make church members, but to make disciples. So the emphasis of the vision of Christ is to make disciples. Now, in the light of that, it is very important that you aim to become a disciple and not just a member of your church. Let's look at Luke chapter 6, verse 40. Here Jesus says, "A disciple is not above his teacher, but everyone who is perfectly trained will be like his teacher." Now, this is very important because we see that the call is for the making of disciples, which means that he wants you to become a disciple. And when you have become a disciple, you couple that up with becoming a discipler. You become a disciple and a discipler, which means you have been transformed into the likeness of your teacher, and you are transforming others into the likeness of their teacher. So that's what he's talking about. And this is as a result of being perfectly trained. I think this is also a very important point to meditate upon and really get a proper understanding of it and realize it that the call is not just to be taught, but it is to be taught, to be trained, and to be transformed. I like mentioning these three T's: taught, trained, and transformed. So you come in as you are, you become a believer. Like Jesus says in John 8, verse 30, 31, and in that verse 32, he says to the Jews who believed him, "If you abide in my word, then you are my disciples indeed," which means there is something called becoming a disciple indeed. And that is becoming like him. If you abide in my word, he's actually saying, if you abide in my word, you become like me. How do you become like somebody you are not like at a point? By being transformed. And the process is be taught, be trained, and be transformed into the likeness of your teacher, which means that you develop certain spiritual capabilities, spiritual skills, which through which you are capable of doing things the way your teacher does them. And this is actually the call. The call is go and make disciples, go and teach, train, and transform. So when God sends you or me somebody, we should look for opportunities to be taught, to be trained, and to be transformed. So this is what will really change us and mature us and bring us to a place where we can fully benefit from the call of God to be part of his kingdom, to be joined as with Christ. So these were our thoughts that I really think we should look at this week, that we are called to become disciples, and this requires us to be taught, trained, and transformed. At the point we are taught, we become informed and knowledgeable. At the point we are trained, we go beyond being informed and knowledgeable, we become transformed and understanding. Because training inculcates in you the practical skill to do the things which you know. So this is very important for each one of us to do very well in the Lord. So I want to thank you for the time that you spent with me, and I would like to encourage you to also share this message with somebody that you care for. God bless you. God give you grace. May you experience his best for you.